Alright, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and I have an interesting one for you today. So, recently, I put out a video explaining when the Fellowship reset was going to be, because Hamish's words were mid-December, which entirely changed a lot of things for me, made a lot of people insta-quit, and from what I was seeing in the comment section, caused a mega uproar. Don't get me wrong, you guys were still supportive of the video, which I'm exceptionally grateful for, but a lot of you were not a fan of the reset whatsoever. Some of you didn't even know it was happening and were a part of the game altogether. To which I want to just state across the board, Fellowship is a reset seasonal game. That was the intention from moment one, all the way back in Steam Next Fest, and that's part of the main reason that I really got as interested as I am in it. Because that's important to me as a leaderboard and rank pusher. Well, it's not like my primary reason for playing the game, it is definitely one of the big things that I enjoy, and as a result I've formed a static on Discord and, made friends that were planning on doing like a leaderboard push, all this sort of stuff, okay? So, what I did was the moment I got wind of it was I told everybody, because of course now it's exceptionally important information and or news to cover in the game. Plus, it's going to change my conceptualization of what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the season. But I was saying that they may have announced it far too early, because the thing about a reset is the moment you announce a reset, people just stop playing. You immediately tank your player base because, well, now there's in a lot of people's minds, there's now immediately no reason to play because, well, we now have the day everything is going to be reset. So every time I play, I'm just kind of being reminded that whole way. It's like a psychological effect. You know it's coming, but being like knowledgeable of the date, it's like the date of your own death. Like the whole time, all the way up, if you had it, you just have anxiety, like the whole time of like, well, everything's about to end soon, so am I spending my time right? Should I even be doing this? Does this matter? It's just, yeah, it's not a great look. But instead, they've made a comment on what they're going to do. Now, I have read these very loosely because I took a bit of a day off yesterday, and of course, that's the day everything decides to go to shit. So we're gonna read these together, and I'm gonna give you my thought process on it. So I have one thing here from Candy forwarded from Hamish, and then there's something else in my images as well that I will take a look at, which was from Neo, which I believe was also forwarded from Hamish. I'm not going into the Fellowship official Discord. I have self-respect, and it's apparently a cesspit in there. So I will rely on the boys to give me the information straight out of our man's mouth. I gave you the clip before, but yeah, I'm not venturing into cesspits. So, okay. As I mentioned on my stream the other day, this will be from Hamish, forwarded from their Discord. We were potentially aiming to have a reset before the holiday break in mid-December. This was contingent on some very specific content being available, but we've decided it needs a bit more time to reach a meaningful point where we can properly test it. Spoilers, we're working on some new heroes, plural. With that in mind, players shouldn't expect the first reset to happen until next year, and we'll have more information for you as soon as we consolidate our timeline. Well played, but I don't believe you. That doesn't mean we won't have some exciting updates coming before the end of the year. I'll have more details to share in the coming weeks. It's important to restate that once we move out of early access and into Fellowship's full release, the game will follow a seasonal reset model, introducing new dungeons, heroes, features, and heaps of things to chase each season. It's best to think of this early access phase as a place for us to test our hypotheses, in more of a pre-season environment where we can see what works best for the future of Fellowship. Now let me check the other one very quickly, because I have to open my links angle here, just to make sure it's not the same one. Yeah, it's literally the same one. So, as I mentioned the other day, yada yada yada, same thing, same spiel. So, thoughts on this? I think it is bullshit and a meme. I'll be honest with you. So, I think what they've done here is they have successfully pissed off two crowds at the same time. And that's going to be their biggest running issue, is I think what's going to happen, or what they've already done, is if I'm looking into this, yeah, sorry, Stoxio, so it might be a second for me to do the recording, and then I'll come and do some more quick plays with you and whatnot. I should have done this yesterday, but I was not feeling up to it, because this put me off pretty fucking heavily. I was kind of annoyed. Because they've now successfully pissed off 2 parts of the community at the exact same time. So what I think this is, and or what this was that Hamish said the actual reset window. However, the backlash was so goddamn bad that they were absolutely not expecting it whatsoever, because even in my comment section, it was just, and you guys are like exceptionally supportive, it was just fucking depression, doomer angle. Like, I made that video expecting everyone to be like, oh, hype as fuck, cool, you know, let's prep builds, let's get league starters, let's get season starters, you know, like, and it was just fucking perma-hatred the whole way down. And it's valid. It was valid. I'm not ragging on anybody, because the thing is like, I feel like what this game's pitch has been lost in the sauce at some point. Because when I originally picked up Fellowship, it was meant to be, you hop in with the boys, you play some dungeons, you get some gear, everyone goes home happy. Okay? Then the game released, and then all of the players from all of the games that enjoy this style of combat system, this style of game replayability, this style of everything, all came over from their games and are all toxic fucks. So we lost the chill wholesomeness of it basically immediately due to the player bases it attracted. So that angle was fucked. And then their other option that they were talking about was the whole cosmetics thing that I think they really lost in the sauce. So for example, if I look at my Helena, one of the original pitches from Hamish was to be able to look at somebody and go, oh, what the fuck? Oh yeah, because my character doesn't have all my gear on. I'll use one of these then as showcase. Is it this one? Plates of the Revenant. So, for example, to be able to see a character in this level of like gear and whatnot was like a, oh shit, that guy's wearing Dreadnought kind of like feel and experience, right? Because, you know, to put like the Onyx trim or whatever have you on it, you're in a higher tier and all this sort of stuff. But because they had to go the skins route with, you know, selling skins to be able to make money, because the game is, you know, a buy to play one singular time, you have to have some kind of recurring income. They had to compromise on that angle as well, because what it was before in Next Fest and Open Beta was there was no skins at all. So as a result, you know, if you saw a Mako in fucking gear that had shoulder spikes and multicolors and all this extra like lit up shit, it was like, holy fuck, that guy's geared as hell, you know? Whereas now, I can just wear a skin, and especially with Season Start, for example, I could put, for example, this on, or this on, which is a recolor of the endgame gear that was a Twitch Prime drop, you know, drops on the stream when drops are available, kick W, self-promo, or this, for example, and it completely hides any and all gear I'm wearing. Like, for example, you just saw what my fucking Helena was wearing, because to play in Twink gear and carry people in low contender, which I just do casually for fun, this is what your character has to look like to be able to do that, because you get item level downscaled and whatnot. So, this is the thing, is I'm now at the mid-season angle, where this is what I'm doing for fun, doing, like, downscale carries with the boys for the meme in solo queue, right? Because aside from going 9 out of 9 Eternal, which I am working towards, I'm currently 3 out of 9 with a hope for 4 out of 9, and then I will push for 9 out of 9, which I will say is nice because the reset got pushed back. I have more time to do that goal, which is cool. I may also start a solo queue series, which you guys were saying you wanted, so I may do solo queue Mako to Eternal. Could be fun. Might also be absolute ass cancer, but could be a good time. So, to get back to my original point, they've lost the sauce of the casual angle, because the people that came over were not casual players whatsoever. It was hardcore players who came over to colonize, and they successfully have, especially when it goes to higher tiers. Then, once you hit the Adept spike, or sorry, no, then they lost themselves on the, oh, that character is so geared, aesthetics angle they were playing, so they've lost their own plot at this point. We've lost the high-end pusher looks really cool, and it's now that high-end pusher is a toxic fuck. And it's a bit of a fucking problem, unfortunately. And so then, fuck, where was I going? I just had my thought process and I just cut myself off. Shit. Fuck. What was I gonna say? Oh, it'll come back to me. Whatever. Okay, fine. It'll come back to me. But in regards to all of that, what I think wound up happening is that now they announced that there was going to be a reset. So, because they've lost the entire fucking casual angle altogether with the fact that I remember what it was. The hardcore players came over, and then the casual players hit the adept hard spike. That's what I was gonna say. The casual players hit the adept hard spike. So now, the casual players are stuck in adept, getting absolutely fucking shit minced, and the hardcore players are now in higher tiers gatekeeping the information and the groups from the lower tier players. So you can't get up and into, like, a ransack farm requires full 330. We did Wraithtide in 86 eye level. Like, this game is not as difficult as people are, like, requiring it to be able to actually play the fucking game. But because those people are now at high tiers, they're locking out access to the game itself, which is why I'm, trying to show it to people, trying to allow people to play it and play in groups and all that sort of shit, right? But that's just the nature of how this is fucking gone. So the casual angle is completely fucking cooked. Then the high gear player show off angle is completely fucking cooked, and then those same casuals are hitting the adept hard stuck angle where they're getting pissed off they're stuck, and that is completely cooked. And then the higher tier players are the only ones who can actually push through it to then get to the higher spots to then create the toxicity at higher tiers. So it's kind of lose all the way down, which I say this as a guy who's loving this game and absolutely adoring it, is like something needs to be adjusted, whether that's smoothing out adept difficulty or, like they're trying to do ways of buffing stuff without buffing the top players, of like adding gold and whatnot, which is a genius way to do it. But like there's a level somewhere that, like, we're lost in the fucking sauce here. And this is kind of what I mean in, like, losing the premise. Is since they decided to say that they wanted to do fast resets, which were mid-December, the pushback was so immeasurable because those hard-stuck casual players who are stuck at the adept spike, not saying you're bad, I'm just saying, the game gets fucking very, very difficult very quickly come adept for no apparent reason. Those people, they haven't gotten past it. So to tell them that all of the work you're dealing with is going to get completely evaporated in a month and a half, most of them just quit. Completely fair, completely valid. So now you have lost that section of the player base because they have just tapped out, right? They're already gone because of the announcement of the December window, because some people didn't even know there was a reset at all, because apparently it wasn't shown on the Steam page, and like apparently people are issuing refunds, and it's this whole fucking debacle. It's all bullshit, whatever have you. Some of it valid, some of it not. Like I said, it's just miscommunication, I guess, that it wasn't put on the Steam page or all this sort of stuff, right? But those people are already gone. They're asking for their refunds. They're leaving. They're cooked. So now, by backpedaling on it, all the people who did stay, who were excited for the reset, are now also mad because now the reset's being pushed back. I don't know if this is just my opinion, right? But like, pushing the reset back probably now a month just pisses me off. You excited me, pissed off the entire other half of the community, and then you backdated on that half, which they've already left, and then now pissed off my half. We have shot ourselves in the leg 3 times over here. And it's just like, oh my god, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand. Small indie company, doing our best. We're figuring it out as we go. Appreciate you. But boys, you gotta pick an angle and double down on it here. And whether that's like, I mean, they tried to do the middle ground, which is like to be, it's important to restate. It will be seasonal, but we've pushed the season back because of the bitching. Okay? And so this is what I mean, is like, yeah, they're limit testing the community, for sure. Like, everyone has like a puddle of goodwill, right? That you can pull from, and every good thing adds to it, and every mistake fucking pulls from it. The first day, with all of the mass refunds they got because of the servers, they were pulling from it massively. Now everyone's been able to play the game, everyone absolutely adores the game, so then it got built up again. But now, you have pissed off a very, very measurable portion of the community. They've already left. And then the people who were dedicated and your diehards now have a month of downtime where nobody's going to be playing the fucking game. and it's just kind of gotten worse for them too. Because the way seasonal games work is week 1, week 2, week 3 are hot shit. And I mean, like, the good way of, like, that's what you come back for. Dopamine's flowing, everyone's having a good time, you're learning things, building things, making friends, having a good time. Then month 1-ish, 1.5 is like, okay, we start to slow down. Month 2, most people start falling off because they've all hit their season goals. They've got their spider mount, they've got their eternal characters, they've got their gear. Then they start waiting for reset. And then month 3, game is dead as fuck. Absolutely dead as fuck. Nobody talking about it, nothing going on. None of it matters because all of the hardcore players are waiting for the reset, and all of the casual players look at it and go, well, there's a reset soon, there's no point in starting now. So all they've done is prolong the shit period, while already having people quit for the season fall off. Does that make sense? They have just, like, they've made the next 2 months as miserable as humanly possible, and especially saying we're working on some heroes, plural, great, that's wonderful, that means there's multiple heroes, love that, but that also means there's gonna be no heroes mid-season, at all, because there's no point now. There is genuinely, now that you've pissed off the fucking group of people that left that would have been playing the new tank if it was released mid-season, because that would get them out of fucking Adept or Contender or whatever it was, and or the people who are like, male tank, male tank, male tank, they've all quit, right? And the rest of us sitting around playing mid-season wondering what's going to happen. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, the last patch was massive where Sylvie got a giga rework. Like, that sort of stuff is really optimistic and, like, hype as fuck. Like, if those sorts of patches can come down mid-season, then technically anything's possible. But they have literally announced that not only now we are pushing it back, and there's new heroes, but the content release was contingent on the new heroes being ready, which I think is just a fucking cop-out, because they heard the backlash and they went, oh fuck, we have to adjust this, we have to move this. So they moved it back, and their coverage for it was just, what we were working on isn't ready. But it wasn't playable in the first place, so there's no way they could really say that it wasn't ready, because they were going to launch it to begin with, right? This is just fucking, like, cover-up jargon, right? Because they didn't like the initial release day, and then, it doesn't mean we don't have exciting stuff coming before the end of the year, which, like I said, the mini-seasons and mini-events and whatnot, I will 100% be playing for. I'll be covering, I'll be doing pretty much every single one. Like, I'm doing quick plays right now to farm my skins for the other characters I need. I'll be covering every single one. I'll be absolutely loving it. But basically, this was response to backlash and or pushing stuff back with a plausible deniability outcome. Please don't quit, we'll still have things mid-season, and then it is going to be seasonal, though. Eat my ass.